Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of sort of the setup episodes before the traffic fixing tutorial for City Skylines and also sort of a mod demonstration tutorial. Right now we are just looking through the 4 mods that we downloaded from the workshop in episode 1. We've looked at Find Road Tools, Move It, and Network Extensions in a basic sense. That's going to allow us to get an understanding of when at least go and investigate those mods. Now we need to look at Traffic Manager mod. Traffic Manager mod is going to add an icon that has sort of this traffic signal up here somewhere on the screen. It might be over here, it might be over here, it might be down here. I'm not sure exactly where it is. This is where I have it. This is where I have it. And you can move this around however you like. So, and when you click on it, you're going to open up. It opens up this window here. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's inefficient that I have the icon over here and I have the window over here. I don't know. I'm just, you know what? Let's get the icon over here. Let's get the icon over here. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. So we can get a menu here for Traffic Manager mod. These are all the different tools that we have to fix traffic. Let's get the game running here. So again, we're using this sort of scenario-based city, but what I've done is I've actually mass expanded it, and we can actually do a little bit more of that here. We can just keep getting more and more and more commercial. We really, really want to try to create traffic issues just to kind of help demonstrate this a bit better. So mass zoning is the best way to get a lot of traffic. Okay, here we go. We got some traffic. So if we go through these, we can see, you know, we can switch the traffic lights, probably just on. I'm assuming this is just on and off. Yeah, remove traffic lights from junction. Well, guess what? They actually added this into the game, right? You can just go down here to traffic routes. I don't know if this requires mass transit DLC. If it does, then you can use Traffic Manager to do this, but we can go to these junctions here. This is just base game, or it's mass transit, I'm not sure, but we can just go through and remove these. But for example, let's say we didn't have mass transit, or maybe for whatever reason you don't have this ability, we could just click on this, switch traffic lights, click on it, booyah, there they go, they're gone. There they are, they're gone. So we can do this via the Traffic Manager mod regardless of whether this feature is a DLC feature or not. I'm not sure on that, if it's been added for free for everybody else or not. So we can go through and just sort of remove traffic lights. I usually like defaulting, it's not realistic, but I actually like defaulting to no traffic lights, and then when I see issues, when I see traffic, then I might retroactively add the traffic lights as a way to fix the traffic, if I feel like that's going to be the fix. So that's a very simple one. To be honest, I never use this, just because for the most part I'm always using the one that's sort of in the quote base game. Manual traffic lights, okay. Again, you know what, let's not worry about, let's go to the ones that I like to use. Okay, I don't look at these 3 ever. The first one that I'm going to use is the lane connector. In fact, there's only about 4 of these maybe that I'm actually going to actively use. The lane connector is by far my #1 favorite tool with this mod. In fact, here's something really weird, guys. This is a perfect example here. Base game, right? This is our connection to the city. We do 2 one-lane roads. They lead into this intersection. What is going on here? Why would anyone coming from the freeway immediately need to turn around and go back? That makes no sense. No one will ever use this lane, ever. So let's make sure we have lane connector selected. It's going to show all the nodes, right? Remember, and move it. All, like, you know, if we have move it, we can see that these are nodes that can be adjusted. Invisible intersections, basically. So we're going to go here to the lane connector. We're going to click on this here. We can see that there's now some little circles here at the actual lanes, the point of entry into this intersection, right? There is literally no reason why anyone would ever need to wrap this corner, and even if they could, or even if they wanted to, I don't think we'd want them to do this, right? They're going to be cut in front of this kind of traffic here. So we need to actually take this lane and say, no, 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 no. These people are turning into this area just like these people. Booyah. And we can come in here and we can dictate. So we've literally changed this arrow. Look at this. The arrow itself, now it's saying it can go left or right. Heck, we can say you're allowed to go into there. We could do whatever we want here. We could do whatever we want here. But again, we don't want these people turning left. But you can see how it's updating the arrows in real time. In real time. If we take this off, it should default back to... Oh, it actually remembers what we last had. We go there. Hey, look, now we're doing left again. Updates in real time. Again, we want this. These people are now going to all be flowing this way, which means if these people are going to be turning left here, now we're going to get people using this lane, I suspect. We don't need to. Let's remove the traffic lights there with the mod here. Let's see if we can get some Sims. It takes a while for the Sims to update, right? Let's see if we can get some Sims to actually come in here and use this lane. There we go. We now have Sims using both lanes. So how do we get the Sims spread out across all the lanes? In the base game, you have a situation where you usually have a big conga line. It's a big line of cars because they're mathematically calculating that the fastest way is this particular lane to go to where they need to go. They don't change lanes when they see that certain lanes are open, right? Look at this lane usage now that we're getting. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah, it's nice. So we've already sort of fixed traffic there a little bit, but now we're getting more traffic here. Why is that? So what we could do is we're noticing that a lot of people are trying to go straight from this lane here, but we got a lot of people turning, and the people that are going straight, it's sort of just creating a clog here. So again, we can actually say this is a dedicated right turn. And then we could say you guys are actually allowed to go to either of those lanes, and then of course you still have to turn left. The truth is, this is a situation where we'd probably want more lanes. Let's just go in. We're not even using network extensions here. Let's just go to the base game roads, and let's just upgrade this to 6 lanes. Because guess what? We have so many places that these people can go. Now that we have more lanes, we can actually say this is a dedicated left turn. This is a dedicated straight. And this is going to be a dedicated right turn. Now we're not going to have cars piling up behind each other waiting for each other. They're just going to go. They're just going to go. Here, unfortunately, we need that nasty left turn. We can do like double there. And again, we could make this 6 lane too. This could absolutely support 6 lanes because as you can see, we have one lane doing a bunch of awkward tasks. So with Traffic Manager mod, with the lane connector, the point of the story here is we can actually utilize more lanes than in the base game. In the base game, we would not be able to spread the traffic out amongst all these lanes. Usually in the base game, a 6-lane road, or think about the 6-lane one-ways for crying out loud, right? Think about a 6-lane one-way. In the base game, all the cars are just going to use like 1 or 2 lanes, depending on, let's see what this actually creates here. We do, let's say we do this, and then we do just like this or something. Look at this, like if we do something like this, we can't use all the lanes. Oh, we still can't use all the lanes, to be fair. We still can't use all the lanes, but let's say we did something like this. Okay, so now we are technically using all the lanes, but I guarantee if the Sims were actually coming this way, they wouldn't be using both these lanes. They'd just be picking which of these left turns is most efficient, they'd be using it. Which of these is most efficient, they'd be using it. But with the lane connector, we can actually say, no, no, no. You have to go here, you have to go here. So that means that now, Sims that need to go to this lane are specifically going to be in this lane. And that a lot of that has to do with downstream. So with Traffic Manager mod, you have to work out traffic issues from, you work from upstream and then you continue to work downstream. You know what we actually need that's even more important than this little loop here? We actually need just a connection. I know we're getting a little squirrel moment here, guys. We actually need something like this. It doesn't want us to do that. There we go. So that's going to basically allow the hearses to come and pick up these bodies here, but it's fine. We're not too worried about it. And maybe we should just give them some death care really quick, so the city doesn't completely blow up. There we go. Okay. Traffic Manager mod allows us to utilize more lanes. In fact, here's another cool thing that we can do with traffic. And we're noticing that pedestrians are crossing here. and it's causing traffic issues, actually. The cars are actually getting junked up on the pedestrians. We can actually go, and here's the funny thing. In the base game, right, you'd think to yourself, base game, you're thinking, oh, let's just make a pedestrian pathway. Right? Let's give the pedestrians a way to cross without going through the intersection. I apologize, everybody. Anarchy at its finest. We have anarchy turned on, which is what allowed us to build that pedestrian road. The funny thing is we are actually getting pedestrians over here, but I bet you we're still going to get pedestrians crossing here. See? They're still crossing here. Why? Why? They have this path here. They don't need to cross there. Why are they doing this? Traffic Manager mod. Junction restrictions. Click on the junction. Pedestrians are not allowed to cross here. Boom, they can't cross here. What are these people going to do? They wanted to cross there. What are they going to do now? Look at that. They're going to go onto the walkway. They're going to go onto the walkway. So now no one can cross here. And we could do the same thing. We can create a system where, you know, we can sort of levitate up all of the pedestrians around this intersection and restrict their ability to actually cross here. Oops, sorry. See, I'm used to having it over here. See, now we have it over here and we're getting tripped up. We can actually say, no, you're not allowed to cross here, here, or here. We can just bar them from crossing anywhere. But that alone is actually helping with traffic issues quite a bit. That alone is helping quite a bit. So that's good. That is very good. So that was part of the, what we call junction restrictions. And we can actually allow we can allow people to take U-turns. I mean, I don't think there's really any reason why you'd need to do that, but there could be a situation you design a system, then you need people to be able to do U-turns. So we could actually allow that, which is kind of interesting. Again, the Sims are only going to do that if they need to. Like, they're not going to just do it for fun. The other thing we can do here is we can actually hit this button. This button's a really interesting button because this one actually allows cars to sit in the intersection. Sometimes what you'll get is a situation where the junction between two intersections is so small, like this area is so small, that if this gets filled, cars are going to have to stop here, right? And you get this situation where they keep stopping here instead of just flowing. And it's like everybody's just stopping at these lines for no reason. Well, there is a reason, right? Because they think they don't have room. But if everybody was just flowing, then there'd be room. The way you fix that is with the junction restrictions. You come in here and you select these. What this means is that cars can move through an intersection and pile up. And it sounds really bad, but 9 out of 10 times, this is actually going to get the traffic moving. It's going to get it going instead of preventing people from, and we can do it on an individual basis. We could say these people are not allowed to junk up the intersection. These people are allowed to junk up the intersection, right? We can do it on an individual point of entry, separate from the others there. So we've looked a bit at the junction restrictions. We've looked at the lane connector. The other things here that I like to use, I guess there's a few other things. We can actually disable parking. And this, I don't think these cars actually affect traffic. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but I don't think this really, this might slow cars down. I don't know if they have to reduce speed if they're driving along, and well, it doesn't look like he's reducing speed. But we can actually go in with Traffic Manager mod, we can actually deselect parking and reselect it. Simple as that. In fact, you can see that a lot of the cars are now appearing over here, and there are parking spaces for them in some of these businesses. They're just choosing not to use it. We can go through and actually disable parking. And we might want to do this aesthetically. We might want to do it. There's so many reasons like why we might want to do it, but it could be just a creative thing. We don't want people parking on these main roads. We can just bop them out of there. Now they're parking at the businesses. This makes so much more sense. Look at them. Now they're actually parking in the parking lots. Fantastic. Fantastic. So we can actually enable and disable parking with the parking restrictions. Vehicle restrictions. I never use this, but well, I've used this before, but I don't usually go to this that often, but we can actually restrict, we can set certain kinds of vehicles can only be in certain kinds of lanes. In fact, we can actually create our own bus lanes. This outside lane, this lane now is only usable by buses. Straight up. only usable by buses. Of course, in this situation, it'd be horrible because people need to be able to turn left here. We can actually say, we can make emergency. We can go to the freeway. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Let's purchase this tile. We can go to the freeway, right? And we can actually create a vehicle restriction on the freeway and say trucks are not allowed in the outside lanes. Look at that. Trucks are not allowed in the outside lanes. So now we have an actual passing lane. And here's something really cool. This transitions perfectly into speed limits. So if we go to this circle here next to vehicle restriction is speed limits. And we can actually go, we can hit this checkbox down here, show lane-wise speed limits. We can actually individually go down here and say, this outside lane, it's faster. You can go faster in the passing lane. But trucks are not allowed to go in the passing lane. Aha. So now we're actually going to get more vehicles. Look at this. Look at this. We're getting more vehicles in the outside lane. Usually in the base game, you're not going to get usage out of the outside freeway lane, right? You're not going to get that. It's just going to be people coming on the inside. It's just going to be a big conga line. Oh, looks like we got a thing there. Look at this. Look how incredible this is. And no trucks are not going to use the outside lane. How cool is that? How cool is that? It's a little goofy here, but there's things that we can do to try to make it so that the cars use more of the lanes. But look at that. So traffic speed limits are really, really neat because what you can do is you can try to create main roads, right? Let's say we want this road to be a main road. Usually in the base game, you'd actually just create a big bulky road, but maybe no, maybe we just want this to be a main road. How would we do that? We'd go through and we'd disable parking, just aesthetically and sort of thematically, right? We don't want parking on this main. This is going to be a main road. Even though it's only a 2-lane, it's going to be a main road. Let's disable parking. Now we're going to go back in with the speed limits and say, okay, it's 40. Let's make it 60. And you can hold shift. If you hold shift, it'll actually do all the road, all the segments in between intersections. So if we hold shift and click this, we've now changed that to 60. So that saves time. Now we've made this a main road. So now cars are more likely to turn up here, get on the main road. Wow, we have a lot of pedestrians. And move along the main road instead of like going through maybe these side roads, right? In fact, we can actually reduce speed on the side roads. Again, holding shift to do the entire segment. So we don't, maybe we want this, maybe this is the main road where it sort of matches up. Shift again. Maybe we don't want people taking this road unless they have to take this road, right? So now, again, we're going to have more people coming in here. Put this up to 60. Have more people coming in here, turning. We're going to see a lot more traffic going up this way, turning this way, and using this as a main road now, instead of going this way, maybe. See, look at how many people are coming this way. Now we're getting issues over here because look at this. If we think about this, there's some people that live here, but there's a lot of industry over here. So we need to come in here, and we need to actually allow... Oh, okay, we don't have enough lanes here. Network extension, small 4-lane road. We're going to come in with a 4-lane road. Just as an example, this is just sort of an example here. We're getting some traffic issues. Let's go into traffic management. Let's disable the traffic light. Don't need that. Let's go to lane connector. And let's, so sometimes in the base game it wouldn't actually allow us to turn left here, but we definitely want that to turn left. Let's make sure that these people are doing. And we definitely want both these lanes to turn here. The game actually seems to be recognizing what we want to do here. It'd be a little bit more complicated if this road was a larger road, but it kind of like defaulted to what we want to do here, so that's good. But here's something. We could tell this road, hey, you're only allowed to go to here. You can't swing wide. And you're only allowed to go here. You can't swing on the inside. And what that's going to mean is that this merging here is going to be smoother because these cars are coming into here. These cars are going on the inside. So it's going to smooth things out again. Whereas if we gave them permission to go on the inside, they might just cut across into the inside. Same with here. They might cut to the outside. We don't want them to cut the outside. We want them to smoothly go into the inside here, and they'll avoid the golden cars here. All right, so I think for the most part, we've looked at almost everything. We've looked at the lane connector tool, which is awesome. We've looked at Vehicle restrictions, I don't use it very much, but it's very cool. You can do some cool stuff with it. We've looked at speed limits. Very neat for sort of creating main roads and just for dictating where your traffic goes, sort of guiding the vehicles through the city, because they do consider speed limits when they think about it. This is sort of proof that they consider the speed limit when they make decisions. See, we have the trucks, we have the delivery trucks in the middle and the first lanes. We have the actual just regular cars in the outer lanes going faster. We've looked at junction restrictions to reduce pedestrian crossings and also to fix some of the bunching issues that go on. We can also disable despawning. I guess that makes it so traffic that gets stuck doesn't despawn. We don't really need to ever hit that. And we can actually hit clear traffic. We can just clear traffic. It's sort of like it's sort of a cheat, but it's kind of a way when you realize you have such a backup and it just can't fix itself because it's just backed up on itself, and you do a lot of changes and people aren't moving. Sometimes you need to hit clear traffic just to clear it all out and let the new sims come into play and see if they can work through the system that you've made with a clean slate. So sometimes you do want to hit the clear traffic button there. And then finally, the last two things that we could do is we could actually set up these priority signs, right? We can actually say, hey, no, yield. We don't want to create a stop line here, but we want these people to yield. Heck, maybe we want these people to stop. These people are stopping. These people are yielding. These people are just flowing, you know. Maybe we want these people to stop. I don't know. So the traffic that's coming into the city has the full right-of-way. These people are yielding. These people are stopping. This isn't the best example because, heck, maybe we could just add a stop sign there. There are certain situations where the yield is really, really nice. This is not a situation where you want yielding, because the AI will get stuck because there's so much traffic coming through this intersection. They'll never go. They're a little too cautious in that sense. And then the last thing we could do is set up our own custom timed traffic light, which we'll have to talk about in probably one of the actual, we'll have to go through how this works, because it's sort of its own thing. Heck, I should probably make an actual video just on the timed traffic lights, because it is sort of a beast of a thing, but we can make our own custom timed traffic lights, which is really awesome. All right, so thank you so much, everybody. We've just taken a look at Traffic Manager Mod. I'm not trying to make this a tutorial on how to use it. I'm just trying to show like the basic features, get a foundation, get an idea, get some little, you know, doodads in your brain connected, get some little synapses connected, right, in your brain for some of these features here as we start to use them in the actual mod tutorial, the traffic fixing mod tutorial. That's when we're actually going to go into the nitty-gritty on how to actually use all this stuff. But we just want to get an idea of what's here. What are the features that we have available to us? Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.